Today we go over Star Wars Episode 9, the final film of the Skywalker saga. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, Episode 9 serves as the final film of the Skywalker saga. Now, one thing that really left a lot of people disappointed in The Last Jedi was, of course, the death of Supreme Leader Snoke so early on in the sequel trilogy when Kylo Ren killed him in his throne room. Now, there's also a lot of people out there that actually really enjoyed that idea where Snoke was killed off by his apprentice. It was honestly a very much unexpected piece to happen in this movie, and it really created quite the stir between some of the Star Wars fans who are actually getting used to this character. But looking at Episode 9 here, these past couple of months or so, we have been hearing a lot about this movie, especially with the big rumor of Ed Harris quite possibly joining the cast of Episode 9 to portray a younger version of Supreme Leader Snoke, and that's exactly what the de-aging technology would be used for, apparently. Now, looking past all of this, these past couple of weeks, we have been learning a whole lot more about the set leaks, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc., one of which specifically has to do with Snoke and a young Ben Solo. Specifically, a young boy in a crouched position, which appears to be a young Ben. In front of him is a large figure of Supreme Leader Snoke with less injuries to his face. Reaching out to the boy, this could be a Force bond and or vision. Another description goes over an older version of this boy, which is said to be Kylo Ren, with Snoke rewarding him Darth Vader's helmet as Snoke sits on a throne in his throne room. Kylo holds the Vader mask and Snoke is smiling with injuries, near the same from The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Now, this is a very interesting piece because we do know that, I believe it was from one of the novels, I think it was the Force Awakens novelization, where we do learn that Snoke has essentially been manipulating Ben ever since he was a baby within Leia. So, we're going to be learning more about these interactions between both Snoke and Ben Solo, hopefully in Episode 9 in the form of a flashback, this seems like it's going to be. Or, if this actually does not come into fruition, it could very well be in the official novelization of Episode 9, or quite possibly even the rumored Ben Solo novel that we've been hearing about. But looking at Episode 9 here, alright, the fact that they're trying to toy around with the idea of bringing a younger Supreme Leader Snoke into the mix in the form of a vision and or a flashback sequence, to me, I think is something that a lot of people are going to enjoy. Now, to have a young boy looking at a large figure of Snoke, the fact that it's a large figure of Snoke tells me that it must be a vision, because Snoke, in physical form is not a gigantic person, right? That's in the form of a hologram. So either we're, getting described a hologram or a vision at that. And Supreme Leader Snoke, by the way, the whole big, rumor about Ed Harris joining the cast of Episode 9, I think that Ed Harris, looking at him even all the more so now, he does kind of mimic Supreme Leader Snoke when it comes to his eyes, the way he smiles, the shape of his head, just everything about Ed Harris, his facial structure. I can see it now as to why they would want him to portray a younger version of Snoke. Previously, I didn't really necessarily agree that he would really be the greatest role for a younger Snoke, but I can kind of see it now. But looking at Episode 9, guys, I gotta say, I think that JJ is trying to reintroduce the concept of flashback sequences. We do know that with The Force Awakens, they said that part of the overall sequel trilogy was only just getting started, and they reintroduced it once again in The Last Jedi by Rian Johnson, except Johnson, treated it in a different way. It wasn't in the form of a vision where an individual touches a certain object and they get sucked into the past. This time, in The Last Jedi, it was just like a regular, generic flashback for the audience. So going into Episode 9 here, I'm really hoping that maybe JJ does something very creative as to why we would see moments into the past for the character of Ben Solo, Snoke, Rey, and Luke. I think that all of those aspects of filmmaking, they could really do something very creative where maybe, let's say, Kylo Ren touches Darth Vader's lightsaber, if it's ever discovered, right? and he gets sucked into the past through a Force vision or something around those lines, and that could very well explain a lot of the Darth Vader descriptions that we have been going over. But guys, let me know what you think about Supreme Leader Snoke in Star Wars Episode 9. Do you think it's necessary to at least explore him a little bit, or do you think it's totally unnecessary? Drop a comment below, let me know what you think about all of that in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again. No.